All right, let's now cut across to some live images that are in fact coming in from Brunei, where the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has in fact reached for a 3-day official visit. The Indian Prime Minister is visiting Brunei at the invite of Sultan Haji Hassan Al Bolkiah to strengthen bilateral cooperation between the two nations. Now, Narendra Modi's visit, which is the first bilateral trip by an Indian Prime Minister to Brunei, marks 40 years of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Brunei. So what's on the Indian Prime Minister's agenda? This is going to be very interesting, considering that this is a key visit by the Indian Prime Minister to Brunei. A whole host of different issues, of course, will be discussed by the Indian Prime Minister as part of this visit. And this is a crucial visit because of a whole different variety of reasons, considering the geopolitical location of Brunei at this moment. And this is the first bilateral visit to Brunei by an Indian Prime Minister and will mark 40 years of establishment of diplomatic ties. And my colleague Siddhant Sibil, of course, is joining us over the phone line with more details. Siddhant, this is a crucial visit by the Indian Prime Minister. Tell us what is expected.
Well, it is part of India's act. Will be on space, defense and energy. When it comes to defense, a joint working group is expected to be announced. And essentially, as you pointed out, this is the first ever bilateral visit of an Indian Prime Minister to the country. So this will help strengthen the relationship, and we have seen in the past few weeks and months that how India has been engaging with the ASEAN countries. In fact, the Indian Prime Minister also traveled to Singapore after that. And in October, we could see the Prime Minister traveling to Laos as well for the ASEAN meeting. But particularly regarding Brunei, we know that there is strong relationship between the two countries, strong linkages, common membership of the UN, NAM and the Commonwealth as well. And essentially, this year marks the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the relationship. The relationships were established on 10th May 1984, following Brunei's independence from Britain. Now, essentially, Brunei is India's key partner in the ASEAN and India's vision for the Indo-Pacific. Brunei was also a participating country in India's Nalanda University endeavor. We also know that Brunei has been in the past the country coordinator in ASEAN-India relationship from 2012 to 2015. And essentially, a bilateral trade right now stands around $286 million. The focus is to increase that bilateral relationship. And essentially, during this visit, we could see key announcements, including, of course, on defense space I've already spoken about. But particularly when it comes to defense, we know that India has been training Brunei officials. Indian Navy ships have been visiting Brunei. And of course, we also know that India provided COVID relief to the country as well when INS Jalashwa had visited Brunei in May 2021. So there are a number of pillars of the relationship, and this visit will help strengthen the relationship further.
Absolutely, indeed. And this is also a visit that will be in two phases. Firstly, it is Brunei that the Indian Prime Minister is visiting, and after this, he'll also be in Singapore as well. Tell us a bit about his visit in Singapore as well, Siddhant.
Well, the Singapore visit that is coming after a gap of 6 years. The last time the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi traveled to Singapore was in 2018 when he traveled for the Shangri-La Dialogue. Now, India-Singapore relationship, a lot of convergences and, of course, connect as well. There's a huge India link in terms of the Indian members. In fact, a lot of top officials have India linkages, and focus has been on investment, trade. In fact, Singapore is the top trading partner of India in the ASEAN region and the sixth trading partner in the world. And essentially, Singapore provides that base for India in terms of the ASEAN and India's Act East policy. Now, essentially, during this visit, we will see key announcements, including 4 MOUs. One will be on semiconductors. Now, Singapore has a huge linkage with the semiconductor ecosystem, and India wants to be part of that ecosystem. So, Singapore provides that gateway. Also, in terms of aviation sector, a lot of linkages. So focus also is on healthcare, on also training. And essentially, during this visit, the Indian Prime Minister meets the new Prime Minister of Singapore. And the visit happens just days after the India-Singapore roundtable. Remember, on 26th of August, 4 Indian ministers were in Singapore for the roundtable.
Absolutely indeed, Siddhant. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those details. We'll of course come back to you as more details emerge in this story. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.